squad sound.
Yeah. What's poppin', y'all? What's happening, man? It's your boy Marq Nash back here with another great episode of Breaking the Beats. You already know what we gonna do. We gonna break down the business, entertainment, art, technology, sports, and whatever else I feel like squeezing into those letters. Today, I'm here with a very, very special guest. This is a very special edition of the show. He's an artist, producer, engineer, songwriter, video director, web design. He makes his own merch. Probably can make your merch. Probably can give you a couple stock tips along the way. But today he's here as the artist, the incomparable, the one and only. I'm so proud that I can call this guy my friend. More importantly, he's my brother, the author, Brent Taylor. How are you today, sir?
I'm great, man, and I'm so blessed to be here. So graciously humbled from that intro. It means a lot. I'm just happy to be here, brother, and grateful to be here on your platform. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, you see the intro, so this is always going to be our platform. How about that?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I love it.
My TAGMG brother.
Yes, sir.
So this is my first time doing a one-on-one with you like this.
Indeed.
Known you for years,
right?
But and been around, and I knew of you before I met you in the physical form.
Yeah.
But you are immensely engulfed in talent. Where does the journey begin for Brent Taylor? Like, how did you get into art, music, fashion? Like, you got a lot going on. Like, you wear
Indeed.
many hats, and I've always heard that expression: "A jack of all trades, master of none."
Yeah,
that does not fit you, sir. That does not fit you. Man, you master every craft that you touch, and you're like a modern day Renaissance guy. Like I said,
wow.
This is it's a humbling experience. I get goosebumps I get goosebumps every time I talk to somebody like you, because you're one in a million, man.
Wow.
1 in a billion, 1 in a trillion.
Wow.
We might not see another one of you for the next 40, 50 years. So,
wow.
Where does the journey begin for somebody like you?
Well, I mean, I've always, if I go back, art seems to be like the first thing that I've always gravitated towards. I've always been drawing. I've always been painting since I was little, man. I mean, obviously before making music myself and doing things like that, man, I can always remember painting with watercolors and drawing. I mean, sometimes my mom would bring back, just office paper. I mean, she'd bring me back, a ream of office paper. And I just draw for hours, man. Draw for hours and hours and hours. So, that really, art was really the building block on just my creativity and just opening up that world for me, man. And I always loved, obviously kids love cartoons, right? But I've always loved cartoons, and I've always loved how animation works. Like, at a very young age, I learned how animation works. You can look at a cartoon on the TV and kind of look at it and just like, mindlessly just look at it and not think about all that goes into making this cartoon. Like, one episode of a cartoon could take a month to animate, so when you learn, especially back then, coming up in the 80s and 90s or whatever the case may have been, even the early 2000s, when people were still drawing stuff by hand before computers and stuff like that. But when I learned, all that went into it, and that people were literally drawing every scene, every frame, by hand to make this artwork. It was just amazing to me, man. And and then that kind of transitioned into comic books. Like, comic books was just a whole nother world. You know what I mean? Like, I've always gravitated towards Greek mythology and things like that. But like comic books kind of merged the two. It merged the powers and the godliness of the Greek Roman gods, but it also put it into a format that you could, as a young teenager or whatever the case may have been, you know, you can look at Wolverine, and you can look at these guys, Gambit, and X-Men in general, and just go, you know, it makes sense because you've already got the powers from Greek mythology and stuff like that, but then they're just putting it into like modern times and
Right.
putting it into team based. And, you know, so I would say art is just the foundation of everything that just kind of made things click for me.
So would you say, because we're definitely gonna get into the background. You see it there. This book
Indeed.
right here.
Yeah.
This piece of art right here that you
Mm,
created.
yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful
Thank,
piece of literary work.
thank you.
Me and my daughter, baby Nash, we have read this countless amount of times.
Wow.
I make sure she doesn't write in the book because she wants to be a tiny painter in this book herself.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your inspiration for this and how did you get started with this? Because
Well,
this is amazing.
thank you, and I appreciate that so much. My inspiration for the book really, um, it just came from, honestly, it came from the pandemic and just just sitting down for so long. You know, really, it wasn't a lot to do, and you know, I just kind of got the idea to do such, and the main emphasis I just wanted to put, I always want kids to follow their creativity and follow their creative passions. So I wrote the words for the, you know, the actual words, the story for the book. I wrote it in my phone, and it kind of sat there for a while. And then I was just like, man, let me finish this thing up. And once I finished the words, you know, I just popped open Illustrator, and I knew I still wanted it to look like a child drew it. You know, I didn't want it to be super polished and look like, you know, I didn't want the alligator to really look like a, you know, an alligator or nothing like that. I didn't want the animals to, I didn't want it just to look like an adult did it with, you know, with, I didn't just want it to look super scaled. I wanted it to look like that kid on the cover drew those things in that book. So, um, I um I had to get into, you know, a childlike mindset to just be like, yeah, you know, everything's not perfect, and you know, the tail might be a little long, or you know, just in the mind of a child. But and I also wanted it to be appealing to children as well, you know, with various colors, and you know, something might be a color that is not usually, and and I also just wanted to tap into, you know, what it was like being young around those times that I wrote in the book, you know, Christmas time and Halloween, and you know, the experiences that young people go through, but as a young person, you know, not in a grown adult. So I, you know, I tapped into certain childlike qualities to write this and to animate it as well. Well, not animate it, but you know, to draw it.
I get you. You illustrated. You
Yes, sir.
illustrated, and you
Yes,
did a
yeah.
great job. You
Thank you
have,
very much.
yeah. You open it. You open it on almost like with a preface right here. When you open the book, right under the title, you have something quite interesting,
Mm,
and I love this statement. I'm going to read it out for my viewers here. You say, "Dedicated to all the creators, the world needs you. Keep creating and believing."
that's the
Why
truth.
was that important? Because you put that soon as you open the book. After you open it up, you see the cover again, and this is right there.
Yeah.
Why was that an important statement for you to put in this?
It's important because, you know, on this journey of life, man, when you get older, the older you get, the more people tell you that your dreams are invalid. The more people tell you that you can't do something. You know, when you're like 5, 6, 7, they tell you you can be anything you want to be. But when you get 17, 18, 19, they try to stop you from being those things that they told you could be when you were 5, 6, 7. So, you know, always maintain your creativity, always follow your creative heart, always follow your passions. because your passion is what's going to give you your inner livelihood. You know, that's what's going to keep you young. That's what's going to keep you going. You know, in so many instances, I've met guys that have been in their 20s making crazy money, and they're not happy, man. They're not happy at all. I've known a couple guys who've been, early in their careers, and they've been stockbrokers or whatever the case may have been, and they just hate it. They just hate it, and then fortunately that they were in that career that they could make some money, that they quit that job, and then they actually then follow their passion, and then they actually can live a happy life, or whatever kind of life they want. But following your passion that's what's going to keep you motivated, and that's what's going to keep you going. It does definitely get frustrating, when you hit roadblocks and you may think that you should be further along. But your passion for whatever it may be, that's what's going to keep you going, man. And that's why when you see people 50, 60, 70, and they're just happy, you know what I mean? They're happy. Most of those people aren't people that have just worked their entire lives and jobs and careers that they hated or whatever. It's people that follow their passions, or just had a different outlook on life, a different belief structure, a different way of going about things. Everything doesn't have to be just, so let's check this box, and you have to do this way. It shouldn't be that way. You should definitely always follow your creativity, because that is what is going to take humanity into the next phase, man. As you can see, like Elon Musk doesn't have a degree in business. He doesn't have a degree in technology. He is just a smart individual who worked his way up through certain businesses and certain ranks, and now he's going to Mars. And obviously he didn't give us Tesla, but he took over Tesla in his younger stages, and brought it to be what it is now. And cars driving themselves, man, that's stuff that we would see as kids and think about the future.
Exactly.
Cars driving themselves, and like, man, he's actually bringing that to a reality, and so much so that other car manufacturers are following that path. Now every car manufacturer wants to be electronically based. Now every car manufacturer wants to have autonomous driving. And now so even with the space thing, Elon was doing SpaceX like 2-3 years ago. Now goddamn, Amazon, Jeff Bezos. Now Jeff Bezos is going to, trying to do the same thing. But Jeff Bezos has, at that time, had way more money than Elon. But Elon had a vision. Elon had that creativity, man. And that's, whether I want to go to Mars or not, it's that creativity. It's that driving force that moves us along, man, and that's what keeps you going.
You said something interesting there, having a vision, right?
Yeah.
And being a visionary.
Mm-hmm.
When did you? I know you said you came up with the idea and you started jotting the words to the book in your phone during the pandemic. When did you know, hey, I'm a writer now? How did you go from in my phone to no, I'm actually gonna put this together, I'm gonna illustrate this? What was the let's do it moment? Like, we got to get this done.
Great question. I've always considered myself a writer anyway, because make music. And an author anyway, even though I've not had any published books. But with this, it was just a thing of with anything. I've always figured out, well, how can I get this music out, or how can I get this thing out that I made? And then sometimes with creativity, you just got to get that thing out of you, whether it does good, bad, and anybody knows about it or not, sometimes creativity is just, or creative people, you just got to get it out of you, man. So luckily Amazon made it super easy. Well, kind of. They kind of got some weird rules about some stuff, but they made it super easy to publish books and publish your whatever you want to publish. If you want to make a cookbook or a photograph book, they have the tools to do such with their publishing division. And you do some research to find out certain things, and most of the time I'm on Google all day long. Right now I got like 7,000 tabs open on my computer, so I'm researching things every day to figure out how to do certain things, how to, the world is full of information, and the internet is even more. I mean, it's just a gateway to what do you want to know? That is a very important thing too, because there's a lot of information in the world, right? And information really kind of can be segmented into whatever, into different cubes, right? But the information that you need to know, and the information that you want to know, and the information that those are the three cubes that, like, we deal with on a daily basis. But with like YouTube and Google, I mean, the only thing now is, what question do you ask to get the answer that you want? And how do you get access to the questions that you should be asking? That is those to me are the two biggest things that need to be taught. What questions should you be asking to get the information that you want to know, and what information should you know? Because once again, going back to growing up, they don't really teach you about jobs, really. You know about a doctor, you know about a lawyer, you see the trash man and stuff, but like, you don't really know like jobs, right? Even when you get to high school, nobody tells you that you could, hey, if you take this career path, you could be making $100,000 a year. Nobody really just goes out of their way to tell you that, Nobody goes out of their way to tell you you could be an air traffic controller making $90,000 a year, until you're an adult person and you're like, maybe it's too late. But these things now are kind of like at the tip of your fingertips, man. Like, you could literally ask Google, what's a high paying job? If you're 20 years old, what's a high paying job? Boop, it'll come up. And then you could follow that career path if you want to. You know what I mean? Like, you literally could.
And high paying is relative too. Let's be
High
clear.
paying is very relative, but it gives
Depending
you,
on where you live at, what country you in, what
yeah,
state,
but it gives
even
you
in
a
America.
spectrum. It gives you a starting point.
Absolutely.
I feel as though school really doesn't give you a starting point. They give you kind of antiquated information, and they push you out into the world and expect you to do great things. Well, probably not great things, but they kind of just expect you to be a citizen of that country. But it's really the outliers. And probably in the last 10 years, they would say, the 1%, but that's true. Like, it's only 1% of the population that's actually making, a certain amount of money. Most people aren't making, that much money. And it's because we aren't set up to do so. The school system is not set up to teach you how to get a $100,000 job. And when I learned that, most Americans, not a low percentage, a very high percentage of Americans don't have $1,000 in their savings account. Like, if something happens, goes bad, they don't have $1,000 in their savings account.
Less than that. I believe the stats show most Americans don't have I think it's a $700 emergency or a
Yeah,
$500
yeah,
emergency, like,
yeah.
which is a light bill or a car breaking down.
Right,
You get what I'm saying? That's
exactly.
something that can happen any day.
In a blink of an eye, man. In a blink of an eye. So follow your heart, follow your creativity, but always ask questions, especially now with the internet. Ask if somebody's not giving you the proper. Can I tell a story, my brother?
Wait
Yeah.
a minute. Wait a minute. We
Okay.
got hold up. We got something for that. We got
Okay.
a story time drop. Can I do the drop?
Oh,
Can I do the drop?
you the drop, my brother.
Okay, hey, look, everybody who watches my show on the regular, we already know what time it is. Story time.
My man. So, all right. So back when I was a teenager, man, they used to have right on irrelevant the street because I can't think of it right off the top of my head right now. But
It's
they
all
used
good.
to have like a center, like a center with information, right? But this is before it was no computers in there, so you would just go and have to like know what you were looking for. It was right next to a Taco Bell. It was the weirdest placement for this building ever. But they had information like how do you start a business? What is involved in starting a business? But it was just like it was really overwhelming.
It
It
sounds
was
like a library.
no, it sounds like it, but it's like it was a million. I swear to God, it was small, right? But it was like packed full of file cabinets. It was no books, it was just file cabinets. And it was this one lady, she worked there, and you would ask her, hey, where is the information on such and such? She would point you to the file cabinet and you could have at it. You know what I mean? Like it was so much information, but now that information is just in your phone, man. That information, how you start a business, bloop, go to Google, bloop, a million things pop up. You know what I mean? Like, and I just remember being a teenager sitting there and just reading and analyzing this information and just like, I don't know that I got anything good from it, but I just remember going there and reading that information and like being curious about like, well, how do you start a business? Or how did it boom. So that segues me into my actual point. So this dude named Larry, he used to have a record shop, right? Record shop. And it was Dimensions of Music, right? I used to go to Dimensions of Music all the time, bro. Like, yeah, I know music used to drop on Tuesday, every Tuesday. Fam, I was probably in there 3 times a week. You know what I mean? Just looking at the records, looking at the CDs, I didn't have money to buy CDs about $15, $16 back then, man. I ain't had no $15, $16 to keep buying,
Right, right.
man. So I would just look, you know what I mean? Look what came out, read the back, see who was featured on there and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And bruh, I mean, my point to saying that is I was in there a lot, very frequently. And I bought stuff too, you know what I mean, obviously, but I was in there a lot. And Larry, fam, one day I asked Larry, I said, Larry, how did you come to, own this? Or how did you kind of gave me like the shoulder brush, like, get out of here. I ain't passing along no information to
How,
you. Like,
how old were you at the time you said?
maybe 16, 17, something like that.
And he blew you off. Pause.
Yo, completely blew me off. And I was just kind of like,
What you had the sad face, right? Let's have some fun
bruh,
with the interview. Let's have some fun. You had the sad
man,
face.
completely sad, bro. Like, I was just like, why wouldn't you want to tell? Like, I'm not gonna today or tomorrow open up a business and rival yours and just put you out of business. Like, fam, I'm 17. Like, I'm just yo. What's your story? Like, how did you get this building? How did you get this? Boom. All right. Unfortunately, he was a black man. He didn't want to tell me nothing, right? You know what I mean? The crazy thing is, directly across the street, directly, it was a joint called Music Liberated. They as well had music. I mean, but they had, oh my God, they had maybe like twice or three times the records and stuff. That they were more of a record shop than a CD shop that Larry was. They had way more records, older records, new, all kinds of crazy stuff. Two white guys owned it. Man, those two white guys would tell you anything you wanted to know. You know what I mean? Like, if you asked
Wow.
them whatever, they would tell, man, and they would talk to me for hours. I would stay in there for hours, and they would just tell whatever. Unfortunately, one of the owners, he had died in a car crash. It was icy, just like it is now. It's doing crazy ice and stuff right now, sleeting and hailing. And he got into a car accident, and he lost his life. And
God rest the dead. God bless. God
definitely,
bless.
and the record shop closed. But I mean, and he loved local Baltimore artists. It was so crazy. You could ask him about any local artist at the time, and he knew it off the top. He said, "Yeah, I know them." Boom, yeah, that record's right over there. Boom, boom, and he was just so connected to the people, and it's just like, damn, this dude just giving me knowledge and giving me gems. But the black man across the street ain't trying to give me nothing, and I go to him all the time, but yeah, so the point really is just like, yo, the information now is literally, hey, how do I start a business? And it's not even how do I start a business. You could just get super specific with it. Hey, how do I start a store? How do I own? And I mean, it's literally Google. Boop. It's literally YouTube. You can get on YouTube and just ask YouTube the craziest stuff you want to ask.
Don't ask it right here, please. Don't ask it on this platform.
Don't ask it right
Don't
here.
say it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you having me.
Your favorite children's book growing
Yeah.
up, and why? Like, did you have, if you can reminisce on that for a moment?
Man, you said Bernstein Bears, man, and that really touched a warm place in my heart, man. Because Bernstein Bears was really lit, man. It was kind of like a play on the Three Little Bears, but it was four of them, and they was just a family unit. You know what I mean? It was interesting. I enjoyed the Bernstein Bears a lot, and especially in school when they would play the video. That's the best school day ever. When they put the video on, it was like, yo, we watching Bernstein Bears today. Oh my God. Oh my, this is the best school day ever. Bernstein Bears was lit.
That was one of your favorite. Did you like Clifford? The Big Red Dog? Did you like the Chipmunks?
I really wasn't into Clifford, and listen, I don't like when characters don't speak. So I don't like Curious George. I like the colors, I like the animation, but Curious George himself doesn't say anything. So I'm not into that. Clifford, to my knowledge, he doesn't say anything. So I'm not into that. It was another Tom and Jerry. They don't speak. So I don't like Tom and Jerry. Like, I can't watch.
Tom, you don't like Tom? Hot take. That's the hot take right there.
Bro, they don't talk. They don't talk. I can't watch it, bro.
But you get it. You get it without. That's the beauty of the art and the animation and the music.
Dialogue,
you can hear
bro.
that ding 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 ding.
I need the
so
dialogue. I need him
nah,
to say
you don't need that. You know he's sneaking up on him
No,
when you hear the.
I need him to say something, man.
Okay.
I need him to speak like Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies was my jam, man. Like
the cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They was getting to it. You know what I mean? Their imagination. It was all about imagination. It was all about creativity. It was all about, yo, we in the house. Nanny sleep because she didn't had too much wine or whatever. Like,
yo, they never say that, but Nanny, you never saw nothing but her socks and the bottom of her skirt.
That's it, man.
And she wasn't watching them kids for nothing.
She wasn't never watching the kids, and she always put them in the room. And
them kids doing what they want to do.
Yo, and she was always just sleep in front of the TV, like so you know what I mean. But they always just had their imagination to take them to space, or they were sailors, or they was, you know what I mean. So Muppet Babies was
I got a confession to make.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever said this on cam, and I'm a little embarrassed by saying it, but I'm gonna tell the truth right here. You ready?
Go ahead, man.
My hot take too. The Magic School Bus.
Yeah. Tell them about it.
I never watched it until I was an adult.
Okay.
I saw the Magic School Bus for the first time about a year ago, maybe two
Okay.
years ago.
How you feel about it?
It's amazing. I was
It's
like, where was this at?
amazing.
I used to
Rowdy,
watch. Where
right?
was this at when I was watching Ghost Rider and
Man,
Power
Ralph was
Rangers
too
and
crazy, man. Miss Frizzle,
yo,
Miss Frizzle was on the chain.
yo, go the Magic School Bus is amazing,
Man,
and
the
that's
school
what
bus
and
amazing, man.
and that's kind of not being so specific and
Hmm.
not to do a shameless plug again, but your book reminds me so much
Wow.
of that. Like because when the book starts off, you just see the kid with his easel.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you reading it, and he's talking about alligators, and he's talking about things, and then he starts to go on a journey through the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like now he's going through different seasons,
Hmm.
different celebratory experiences that you experience here, being a child in America, growing up, reading this
Right.
book, or not even just America, worldwide. You know, everybody has their celebratory experiences.
Yeah.
But this kid leaves cookies out for Santa.
Right.
He's doing things for the 4th of July. It's almost New Year's. He's doing the countdown. And I
Right.
just thought this was like, it's a classic, man.
Oh my
It's
God.
an instant classic because it
Wow.
never gets old. I can bring this back to my daughter every month, every year. It's something we can go to.
Yeah.
At what point in your creative process did you say, this is going to be a year-round book? Because you could have just been a
Man.
tiny painter and he just paints stuff and that's the end of the book. No, you took us on a journey through a
Right.
year.
Yeah. I was
Talk to us about that.
I was probably about 5, 6 pages in, and I was just like, huh, let me, because I was kind of bouncing around, and I was like, well, let me keep it chronological, try to anyway, and then, you know, let me tell of what's going on in the year, because the school year ends, and I just wanted to cycle through the year and the feelings of what this child, maybe not every child, this child was going through or thinking about as their year was going on. Mother's Day is coming and Father's Day is coming, and these holidays come and go. We go to the beach, and it's 4th of July, so I just wanted to kind of not only draw those things because they're cool things, but to I wanted to just get a hold of the reader and the storyline. I didn't just want to make it seem like he was just drawing super random stuff too, because it could have fell into that to that hole where it's just like, all right, this kid's just drawing super random stuff and we're just not, it's not attached to anything. But like I said, with this, with writing, with actually even in song making, in storytelling, things need structure, so structurally, um making a rounded story in telling you the yearly things, and then ending it with, it's a new year, it's New Year's, um and just this tiny painter's view, as a little person's view of what's going on, um not as an adult, not through an adult's eyes, but just as a child, a creative child looking at what's going on. I thought it was the best storytelling cohesion that I could keep it, without just doing super random stuff. Just like, oh, he drew a boat. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't just want it just to be
Right.
like just drawing stuff, but like, no, we're gonna go on a journey and we're gonna figure out this year. As too, when we was trying to figure out the year, still, under the pandemic, but still
Right.
trying to just figure stuff out, and I just wanted to round all the bases, man.
So, what can a parent buying this book for their child expect? What can they expect from reading this book? I know, but I
Yeah.
would like to the author himself to speak about this amazing literary work that
Thank
we
you
have
very
here.
much.
Yes, sir.
They could just expect it to champion creativity in their child. I mean, if you see your child and you know that they're beating on stuff or something, man, get them a drum set, you know, get them some drumsticks. If you see them looking up at the stars at night, get them a telescope, you know. If you see them, they're asking a bunch of questions or they're about ants or something, get them an ant farm. You know, your child will have the imagination and the questions and the just enthusiasm for these things, and they'll let you know what it is. But also, as a parent and as an adult, it's your job to fuel that fire, you know, to throw the wood on that fire, to keep it going and keep it burning so that they can experience this thing that they're asking about, you know, that they're very curious about. Because you know, children are very curious and they want to know, hey, why do butterflies fly, or why is that butterfly that color and that one's that color? You know, how come these birds are singing and chirping in the morning and at 6 o'clock when the sun goes down, we don't hear them anymore, we don't see them or nothing.
Hey, look, if y'all watching this, this is supposed to be 10 to 15 minutes tops.
Wow.
But like I said, I am so enamored by the presence of greatness every
Yeah.
time I'm around it. And this is not my first time being around great. What is
I
that?
got another one on the way, my brother.
No, you don't.
I got another.
No, you don't. Hold on. Oh my God. Let me see it.
Rewind.
Put that on the screen. What we got right here? Let me hold on. Let me take this band away. See, look at me, man. I'm super geek. I'm excited. I feel like the little kid getting a new book. Now, what do we have right here? The Life of Letters,
Yeah.
ABC. Is this your new piece?
Yeah, this is my new piece, man. I got.
Oh my God! Please tell me that's available right now.
Nope, it's not. This is
No.
the rough draft right now.
I need it. I need it right now.
I'm working on it.
I need it.
It's a completely different style.
Give us a preview. Hold that back up for the people.
It's a
Hold up.
different style than the first book, but
yeah, the animation looks. I mean, well, not the animation, but the illustration looks like you did it how you really know how to do it.
Yeah,
versus versus playing. But that's still better though.
Yeah. It's way crisper, but it's still childlike, you know. So
yes.
So we just keeping it, you know.
Give us A, B, C, D. Give us the first four letters.
A always put above. Boom.
Okay.
B was always quite a buzz. You feel me?
B.
Yeah, B.
And what is that right there on the letters? Is that like what is that pattern right there? It looks like
I made it.
Is that glitter? Is that bricks? What is that? Tetris blocks?
I completely made this pattern from scratch in Photoshop, and then I incorporated
custom design.
Yes. I custom designed it. It's like some weird plaid, but
how does it look?
Each one of those is literally like a block of 4 shades, and then it was complicated, but
yeah, but it works with the optics for the child.
I just wanted it to be different, man. So
always stay
with this faithful cam, and you see you got the camera going. Okay. And then D was always in high demand.
Yeah, these are good words. These are teaching them sentences.
Yeah.
The red carpet. You see the big letters. Love the eyes. These are each character. Each letter has the eyes. Oh man, I love it. I love it. We need this. We need this for the kids. This is dope, man. Look at you. You keeping secrets.
No.
How can they find you and reach out to you, man? Because they need that book.
Indeed.
They need this one first. They definitely got to get this one first.
Yes.
Get this first. Get this.
There was once a tiny painter. Well, there was once a tiny painter out now on Amazon. If you search, there was once a tiny painter. The hard copy comes up and the Kindle version comes up. If it does not, you can type in "there was once a tiny painter" and my name, Brent Taylor. That should come up even easier. And yeah, it was short but sweet, So yeah, there's an audiobook version, and I'm doing that too, and that's available. And like I said, the hard copy and the Kindle version is available. The new book will be available as soon as possible. The Life
Absolutely.
Letters. On YouTube, I think on YouTube and Instagram, I go under First Class Drag. First is the number one. ST first one ST First Class Drag. Got new music on the way. Have new books on the way, as we seen. I'm coming back to talk about music when we get that on, because I got some stories to tell. It's gonna be a little crazy and elaborate, So I want to just separate that and get that where that needs to be. But people can definitely reach out to me. Check out if you want to send me a email or something. Daniel Sons 1, the number one. I always enjoy the number one at gmail.com. If you want to reach out, ask me whatever, and check out more inspirations on books, or like you said, want to get me on shows, the panels. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm all about investing too, man. I invest, man. So you want to ask me some investing questions, or you want to have an investment show or something, I'd definitely be a part of that too. So we could chop it down about those things as well.
Thank you again for pulling up, man. As always, my guest will get the final word. It's been another great episode of Breaking the Beats with your boy Marq Nash, where we break down the business, entertainment, art, technology, sports, and anything else I feel like squeezing into those letters. Also, remember, dreams require sleep, goals require effort. Go out there and get your goals.
This that squad sound.